Hello, Namaste. Welcome to C Language Technical Discussion. I am Rajendra here from APSSDC. So far we are discussing on functions concept in C language. So we have seen the example program, one example program on functions, user defined functions. By using the functions, how that is reusability in some other programs also we have discussed yesterday. For example, yesterday I have written user defined program on largest of numbers. That same program can be reused in some other programs wherever you want to find out the largest of 2 numbers, largest of 3 numbers, largest of 4 numbers. That is the same code is same, only function call should be, we need to modify that function call. So we are also discussing on the components of the function, user defined functions. Yesterday we have seen the what is the function heading, function call, return statement, return type, function declaration. Okay, those were discussed. In details we discussed only function declaration. In details only we discussed function declaration. Today I would like to talk about the function heading. Function heading. For example, function heading means int max, int x, int y. Okay. If A is greater than B, return A, else return of B. That is it. Here the function heading means this is a function heading. This part is called function heading. This is called function heading. This function heading contains return type, name of the function and parameter list. Okay. The first line of the function definition is called, the first line of the function definition is called function heading. This entire thing is known as the function definition. This is known as the function definition. But this first line is called function heading. Here the first line is called function heading. So this is function body, this is function heading, this is function body, this is function heading, this is function definition. So now we are talking about the function heading. Function heading means the first line of the function definition is called function heading. Okay. Here I will write the definition on the notepad so that you can copy into your notebooks. Function definition is called function heading or function declarator. And this is followed by function body. Okay. Syntax is now you tell me how to write the syntax for function heading. Return type space function name list of parameters. Do not get confused about the parameters. Parameters also I am going to talk. Okay, I will give you the definition, exact definition of the parameters also. You do not get confused. As of now, just listen that, just remember that it is a parameters. Okay, list of parameters. Do not write semicolon here. This is called function heading. Okay. It is, and it is followed by a function body. This is followed by function body. Okay. I will write one example. Write an example also. Yesterday we have seen maximum largest of 3 numbers, right? So same program I will write here. This is function heading. Okay. This is example. Another example also there. What is a? Can you tell one example? Starting day onwards, we are writing that function heading. It is nothing but a void main this is also a here void main. This is also a function heading. Okay, and there is no semicolons. Don't write the semicolons. Okay, here don't write the semicolons. Only we write in the function calling function only. For the function declaration point of view only we write the semicolon. As a function heading, it does not contain any semicolon. Okay, anyhow I will write here. Some people will write the semicolon. There is no semicolon. At the end of the function heading. Since it is not a statement. And every function have one function heading. Every function have one function heading. Okay. So, this is the function heading. I hope this function heading, I think there is no doubt, I think you I hope you understood the concept of function heading. Now I am going to talk about the now I want to talk about return type. This is function heading and this is return type. Now I am going to talk about return type. What is return? The type of the value. The type of the value is returned. The type of the value is returned by the function is called a return type. I repeat, the type of the value. Here I am returning a integer value. So return type is integer. If I am returning a float value, return type must be float value. If I am not returning anything, return type should be void. Return type should be void. So here I am returning integer value. Here a comma b, sorry, x comma b, right? A, B. So here a and b are of type integers. A and b are of type integers, so return type is integer. Okay. If I am returning float value, return type should be float. If I am returning character, return type should be character. If I am returning pointer, return type should be data type star. Okay, star should be there. Okay, if you are not returning anything, void, we have to write void. We have to write void. If there is no return type, then default is integer. If I am not writing anything here, okay, no problem. But default return type is integer in C language. If I am not writing any return type here, simply I am writing max this only function name, body of the function, end of the function. Then default return type is integer. Okay, default return type is integer. If a function returns float value, return type is float. Okay. For example, I will write some more example here. Function return 10.8. Here the function returns, this function returns, here the function returns, what it returns now you tell me. Here it returns 10 only. Here it returns 10 only because there is no return type. If there is no return type, then default return type is integer. So it is typecasted, automatically it is typecasted. Typecasted means converting from one data type into another data type is called typecasting. Okay. So 10.8 is a float, float is typecasted into integer, so it will become 10, so 10 is returned to the calling function. Okay. Next, example 2, this is example 1, this is example 2. Okay. Next I am writing here float function return 10.8. Now you tell me what happens here. Now this function returns 10.8 because return type is 10 float. So based on the return type only we should return, or else whatever you are going to return, same type should be specified in the return type. Now the function returns 10.8. So next, example 3. Main here void. Here I specified void. Here return type of main is void, since main returns nothing. Since main returns nothing, so return type is void. Some in books we can find that return type of 0 for the main function. So then we have to write here int. So 0 means we are not returning anything, only 0 is returning. So integer. Okay. If you don't want to write any return statement here, then better to write void here. better to write void. Okay. So, here for the return type we will write the notes here. Now, we are talking about the return type. Return type means the type of value returned by the function is called return type. Is called return type. If a function returns integer value, return type is integer. Okay. If a function returns float value, then return type is float. Then return type is float. Next, if no return type is specified, default is integer. And if a function returns nothing, then return type is void. Okay. So, void means nothing. Examples: function return of 10.8. Okay. Now, you tell me what happens if the function returns, function returns 10 only, that is integer, because but not 10.8, because return type is integer by default. So, it is return 10 only. If you do not specify any return type, default is integer. Next, example 2, float function return 10.8. Now it returns 10.8. Now function returns 10.8. Okay. So, this is the return type. So, now we are going to talk about the function name. Okay. Now, we are going to talk about the function name. Int f1, here the statements Next, char F2. Here this is a function name, name of the function. Every function has a name. A function is identified by its name. A function is identified by its name. Okay? Function should be a valid C identifier. A function name should be a valid C language identifier. Means we should not use any keywords, we should not use any it should follow the rules of the identifier. So whatever the rules for the identifier, it is also applicable to the function name also. So F1, I cannot write float F1 because the same function contains the F1 and F1 should not contain. Okay, in the same program as one F1 function, okay, it should be different. I should not repeat again. Okay, though the return type is different also, I cannot write the same function in the same program, same function name in the same program. So it leads to error. No two functions in the program can have the same name. So function name must be a unique name. This is the name of the function. If every function has a name, in a function is identify its name. Okay, function should be a valid C identifier. This is the name of the function. This is the name of the function. Into max, into A, into B. Here this is the name of the function. Okay. So generally we write the name for the naming the conventions for the function is whatever the operation is. For example, yesterday we have written the largest of 3 numbers. So related naming conventions is assigned to the function name. If you want to find out the even number or odd number, generally better to give the function name is even or odd. If you want to find out the prime number, better to give the function name should be prime number. It is not a rule, better to give that related. Whatever you are going to write the logic operation, that same title should be it should be related. Okay. For example, some people will write the name, their own names. Okay, it is not recommended. It is a valid, but it is not recommended to write the whatever they want. Better to write the related. Okay, these are function names. And another example. So here, I think you understood that this F1 and this F1 have the same name. So it is error because no two function names have the same name. No two functions in the program can have the same name. So function name should be unique. Function name should be unique. Okay, right? So I'll write another program, another example for the void auto AUTO, small AUTO. Now you tell me. Here it is not valid function name. It is not a valid function name because it is a keyword. Keywords cannot be used for the user defined function names. User defined words, function user defined words, that name itself tells user defined. I cannot use the keywords. There are so many 32 keywords are available. Those 32 keywords cannot be used for the function names. Okay. structure, union, for, if, return, int, float, char, double, switch, those type of keywords cannot be used for the function name. Okay, it leads to error. It leads to error. Leads to error because it is a keyword. Since it is a keyword. Since it is a keyword. Okay. Next, another example I will write here. Int x, it is a function name. Int x is a function name. It is okay. Now it is okay. Okay. Next, int x, semicolon. Now you tell me, just look here. Int x, function name, int x. Okay, function name and variable name should not have the same name. Function name and variable name cannot be same. It cannot be same. So it leads to error. Function name and variable name should not have the same. So it leads to error. Because function name and variable name cannot have same name. Cannot have same name. Okay, this is the reason. So you can write whatever apart from this. You have to follow some rules and regulations while we are giving the name for the user defined functions. Okay, so we will write the notes for this one. So now our topic is function name. Just write down your function name. Every function has a name. A function is identified by its name. And function should be a valid, function name should be a valid C identifier. Okay. Example, void max int a comma int b. This is name of the function. Okay. In the same program I am writing another, that is int max int x comma int y comma int z. No, I cannot write. I cannot write because no two functions in the program can have the same name. So function name must be a unique. So it leads to error. The above function leads to error, as no two functions in the program can have same name. So, function name must be unique. So, function name must be unique. Okay. And the next example is example 2, into auto. Written some statement I am writing. It is also leads to error. Now you tell me why it is error. Why it is error? Because function name must be user defined word. Function name must be user defined word. Function name must be user defined word, but not the reserved word. So, here auto is a reserved word or keyword. Next example 3, int x int x. Now you tell me, is it valid? No, it is not valid. It leads to error because function name and variable name should be different, should not have same name. Function name and variable name should not have same name. So, for that reason it leads to error. Now, I can write something like this. Example, into y into x. Now it is okay. Now it is okay because y is the name of the function, here x is a variable name. Okay, y is the name of the function, here x is a variable. This is the name of the functions. So, next list of declaration of parameters. Now, so far we are talking on parameters, but I didn't define the parameters. Declaration of parameters. Declaration of parameters. Actually, parameters are the communication between the calling function and called function. I repeat, parameters are the communication between calling function and call the function. What is calling function? What is called function? Calling function means the function which contains the function call. Called function is whenever the function is called, that function is going to be executed. That mechanism is called as called function. For example, if you take here yesterday's example, into max into A into B. Okay, void main. Here we have written the function declaration. This is function declaration and function called max of 5, 6. Here the main function is called calling function. This is called calling function. This is called calling function, and this is called called function. Called function. This is called called function, because here we are calling. I think so. This is called function. This is calling function. Here, where are the parameters? Means these 5, 6 are the parameters. A, B are the parameters. Okay. Here the 5, 6 are the actual parameters. Here A, B are the formal parameters. A parameter is an input to the function. A parameter is an input to the function. A function may have 0 or 1 or more than one parameter. Okay. A number of parameter to a function depends on the task to the performed by the function. Okay. This is called formal parameters. A parameters are a input to the function. What are the inputs here? 5, 6 are giving inputs to the call function. These are the 5, 6 are the parameters. Which type of parameters? There are two types of parameters are available. One is actual parameter, second one is formal parameter. Formal parameters always must be a variables only, whereas the actual parameters, it may be a variable or values. It may be a variable or values. So, these are the parameters. In tomorrow's session, in next session, I am going to talk about the actual parameter and formal parameters in details. Okay. If you get any doubts also, you can send your doubts to my mail ID, that is rajendra.apssdc@gmail.com. So, you can send your doubts to this mail ID. Okay. Thank you.